Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this short presentation about visual supports. This presentation is intended for parents and educational staff who would like a brief overview of visual supports that may be helpful to use in the home for individuals with an autism spectrum disorder. My name is Heather Stolp, and I will be presenting this information to you today. Visual supports are something that we all use each and every day of our lives. We rely on street signs to tell us where we are and where we are going. We use calendars to keep track of appointments. We write out a list for the grocery store and watch how-to videos to fix items around the house. We are constantly taking in information visually to help us accomplish a goal and be successful in our daily lives. Most children with autism spectrum disorder are visual learners, which means they usually learn best by looking and watching versus listening and/or reading. It is very common for a child with ASD to be very good at puzzles, like to make patterns, or prefer to watch a video over and over. When you use visual supports for a child whose strongest way to interpret information is visually, the child will likely be more successful and face less frustrations as they are able to understand things more easily. By using visual supports, it offers an individual an opportunity to process information with the use of their visual strength and will likely lead to an increase in their understanding. Visual supports help individuals to learn new things and also broaden their interests as they are exposed to more things. For an individual with an autism spectrum disorder, predictability can help with reducing the stress of uncertainty and keep an individual calm. When individuals are calm, there is a reduction of inappropriate behaviors that may be associated with anxiety. Having a visual support in the form of a schedule present and available will assist with an individual knowing what to expect and therefore decrease their stress and anxiety. In several venues of our lives, we have information showing us what to expect next. At a wedding, there is a program indicating what will take place during the ceremony. While attending your child's school performance, there is a program showing the sequence of events that will occur. By using the visuals, you have a clear understanding when attending those events what will occur, and you can also see a clear ending. Visual supports offer individuals the opportunity to develop independence as they are able to look for the visual cues and complete tasks on their own. An increased independence also leads to an increase in self-esteem. Processing language can be challenging for children with ASD. When a word or sentence is spoken, the information is available for only a brief period of time. For children who have difficulty with processing language, that moment may not be long enough to make sense of the message or to hold on to the message long enough in order to use it. A visual representation, however, remains available to the child for however long they need it, thus making the child more successful at understanding the message. Visual supports can be implemented with individuals across the age range, beginning in preschool and extending all the way through adulthood. As I said earlier, we all use visual supports in our daily lives on a regular basis. Visual supports are any tool presented visually that supports an individual as he or she moves throughout the day. Visual supports might include, but are not limited to, pictures, written words, objects within the environment, the arrangement of the environment or visual boundaries, schedules, maps, labels, organizational systems, timelines, and scripts. They are used across a setting to support individuals with ASD. Visual supports are an evidence-based practice. Evidence-based practices are practices that have been researched and are determined to be the best way of providing support in order to gain successful outcomes. Within the realm of autism spectrum disorder, there are currently 27 evidence-based practices that exist. Basically, significant research has shown that by using visual supports with individuals who have an autism spectrum disorder, you can increase the likelihood that the individual will have successful outcomes. Although this may seem overwhelming, visual supports do not need to be used in every aspect of your child's life. You can simply choose to use a visual support with activities, events, or concepts that cause frustration or anxiety for your child, or for activities in which a great deal of adult support is required for your child to be successful. If your child is currently successful in an area without the use of visual supports, there is no need to incorporate one. An example may be if bedtime is particularly frustrating and a struggle for your child, you may want to try using a visual support. For instance, you could use a visual timer to indicate to your child that in 10 minutes it'll be time for your child to transition to their bedtime routine. You could use a visual schedule to show what the routine looks like and what the expectations for the child are. The visual schedule may include pictures of your child putting on their pajamas, putting their clothes in the hamper, brushing their teeth, reading a story, then lights out. Visual schedules can be modified to fit your routine, and things can be changed and adjusted as needed. The next few slides show examples of simple visuals that could be used. I found all of these examples on Pinterest. You could easily print one out or even create one of your own. For some children, it is helpful to take pictures of them performing the task, such as brushing their teeth, in their own environment and using the pictures as the visual. Children who can read may simply need the words on a page or a checklist. Visuals may be used to offer children choices. This is especially useful if your child is nonverbal and has trouble expressing their wants. By using a visual, you will give the child the opportunity to have their opinion heard and reduce frustration and tantrums if they are unable to tell you in other ways what they need. When children are upset or frustrated, their ability to process language decreases. If you have a child who is screaming and crying, instead of continually talking and asking them what they want, you could simply present a visual picture and allow them to choose without having to use their words. Visual timers are great to use for children as the concept of time is so abstract. It is hard for them to understand what 5 minutes versus 15 minutes is. The use of a visual timer is a clear indication that things will be changing when the time is up, or a clear indication of how much time is left for a task. You could purchase a visual timer on Amazon or other stores, or you could also use a timer on an iPad or the microwave. Visual labels on items are wonderful for children to understand where things will be found or where they should go. Children can gain independence in tasks such as putting their clean clothes away if their dresser drawers are labeled. If children are unable to read, you could simply use pictures, but if they are able to read, words would be more appropriate. Visuals can also be used as a positive reinforcement system to display visually the child's progress and what needs to be done in order to earn a reward. Visually seeing the reward chart will remind the child what the expectations are and what they need to do. It is also helpful for them to see how many more times they need to accomplish a task before they earn their reward. Your child could work for iPad time, a later bedtime, an extra cookie, an extra story at bedtime, or whatever motivates them. Rewards do not need to be big things or take a lot of time. When starting with a reward system, it is important to allow your child to be successful very often so they are earning their rewards on a frequent basis. Once the positive reward system is in place, you can decrease the frequency in which you deliver the reinforcement. This slide offers web links to resources and information. Much of the information that was presented in this presentation was found on these websites. I hope this presentation has given you some useful information in regards to visual supports and how they can be incorporated into the home to increase your child's success in areas in which they may need a little extra support. Please reach out to myself or your special education team if you have any questions or would like some more information regarding visual supports. This information was presented by Heather Stolp. I'm employed by the Southwest West Central Service Cooperative as the Autism Consultant. Feel free to reach out with questions. Thank you.